I was
Felt secure. Like any other well-known star, I was safe. Regina's life hasn't always been easy. Many people think that because she is an award-winning actress, and we are not allowed to talk about things we do not know, her private life is the only reason they thought her life was beautiful in the first place. However, with the recent revelations of some of the tragedies the well-known actress has faced, trust me, they're not pretty. The tide has turned. Regina had to deal with the loss of two significant people in her life, in addition to her extremely difficult childhood, all while maintaining the glitz and glamour that come with being a celebrity of her caliber. You will be amazed at the wisdom this woman has shared. Her journey has been difficult and prolonged to observe from beginning to end. The wealthiest celebrities typically enjoy the finest things in life. Regina is, by all measures, a superstar. The two-time Oscar winner and Golden Globe winner has starred in a number of films, including Jerry Maguire, A Cinderella Story, Boys in the Hood, and If B Street Could Talk. The latter film earned the actor the well-deserved accolade. However, Regina is much more than just a well-known and successful figure in the entertainment business. She is a beloved character in Hollywood. Regina is a dynamic individual who directs Barry Jenkins disclosed in a 2021 Vanity Fair cover article about the singer that she hasn't always had an easy life, despite her glitz awards and industry acclaim. As she has openly admitted in numerous interviews, she has experienced more than her fair share of tragic events. It all began with the difficulties she faced as a young child as a result of her parents' divorce is an extremely common event, yet the effects can still be disastrous. But this actress already knows this to be true. Without even consulting science, the young girl was profoundly affected by the separation of her own parents, Gloria and Thomas King. When she was 8 years old, Regina claimed that her parents slept in different rooms and had a protracted argument when she described the events that led to their divorce. The actor wrote in the 2017 book, My Parents' Behavior During and After Their Divorce, from the constant fighting to their eventual estrangement was very disappointing and hurtful to me. Essays, tales, and interviews written by daughters about their lives. Without their fathers, he never returned home years later. I realized that my father's male identity played a larger role in the divorce than the actual divorce, which made me even more unhappy and furious. Fortunately, Gloria, my mother, remained steadfast in her commitment to her children. Regina stated in a USA Today interview that she and her sister were free to pursue our lofty goals. My mother didn't put any limitations on that. She had no idea that this was just the beginning of the numerous challenges that came with being a public person. Even though their relationship didn't continue long, Regina and her younger sister, Reina, stayed close to their father following their parents' formal divorce. They spent several weekends together at his place. Then, as the well-known individual stated, and something had changed. He never returned home. My dad kind of just disappeared somewhere along the line. I'm not sure when or how it started. And those every other weekend trips also became less frequent, though I didn't recognize that at first. Upon growing up and starting her acting career, Regina learned with terrible clarity that her father, Thomas King, had Parkinson's disease. She went on, even though I didn't know what it was or how it would affect his life, the idea of him dealing with a serious health issue broke my heart. And the situation worsened. She disclosed that she and her elder sister, Pat, had to resolve to take care of their father until his death later in 2009. Regina said that she may have sensed his emotions over those last years. He was definitely sorry for the past. It was evident from his expression. I felt the same regret. I felt guilty about how much time had gone by, that our connection hadn't improved other in this context. The actor of Harder They Fall hasn't said much about Thomas, but she has acknowledged that when directing her first feature film, she might have applied some of the advice she received from him Telling CBS about the movie's protagonist that night in Miami made me feel like I knew them all in these chats. I saw my son in these talks. I saw my father, they are of servant strong. And in Love a few weeks ago, the actress finally came to understand her father's point of view, after learning that her grandfather, who had raised her for the most of her life, and who she had considered to be a part of her father, wasn't Thomas's ideal father in the first census of 1940. Regina's grandfather was reported to have two distinct families, living in two different places. Although Regina's father lived in Memphis with his grandma Ruby, he was lawfully married to a Chicagoan called Cora. I don't understand what Regina said when she saw Ruby's life choices in a new light after reading the census data for the first time. Her family had never discussed his two lives. My grandma suffered from acute depression. Regina made a comment when I was a tiny child, but as she grew older, the actress would encounter horrific tragedies in the same locations once more. Although she had hoped she would never go through what her parents had gone through during their marriage, this turned out to be the reality. The actor Regina stated that she was married for 9 years before her husband, and I split and subsequently divorced my child. Regina's child had witnessed his parents fight, just as I had watched my parents fight and argue. Fortunately, her relationship with her ex-husband following the divorce was quite different from what her parents had gone through. It was like old history being relived. Regina was sorry that her child had to witness the divorce. She had one child named Ian after his father. Her husband was music producer Ian Alexander, and he never returned home. She continued in the post by saying that having her child at first had made her decision easy. After her marriage ended, Regina notably dated fellow actor Malcolm Jamal Warner for a few years, but they maintained their relationship. But according to the New York Daily News, Regina and Warner split up in 2013, more than 10 years after her most recent link about the loss of her child went public. Quietly, in 2012, she told the Daily Beast, "I have to keep something for myself, and that has to be my personal relationships." Regina King, who made the decision to turn down acting roles in order to stay in her hometown and her child's hometown, the things that seemed to mean most to her, went through one of the worst experiences a mother can have. Her child passed away early last year, dealing her a severe blow. Regina King undoubtedly prioritized her child's needs before her career throughout her entire life. Ian Alexander Jr., the actor's 26-year-old son, is said to have committed suicide on January 22. He was such a bright example. Sincerely considering others, we respectfully ask that you handle our family with dignity at this private time. I'm appreciative that Ian Alexander, sir, took his own life as determined by the Los Angeles County Coroner's ruling. A representative confirmed that I am Regina's only child and the child she had with record producer. Ian Alexander, sir, was a wonderful young man who carried on his father's legacy. When Regina's acting and directing career was beginning to take off, she had previously told people that Ian was her biggest source of pride. After divorcing Ian's father in 2007 after 9 years of marriage, Regina acknowledged that being a single parent wasn't always easy. But she also emphasized that nothing can ever compare to the love she had for her child. You just don't know what unconditional love is. The actress clarified at the time that despite your claims to the contrary, you don't know what it means to be childless. In fact, if it's the most fulfilling thing you've ever done, several people, some more vocal than others, have voiced their concerns about the actress due to the challenges she has faced throughout her life. An earlier user shared the same thing on social media. This concludes the video. Farewell. I genuinely hope Regina King gets peace. She is missed, and at this point, all we can do is hope that she overcomes her misery.